Chairman of the Senate Committee on Public Accounts, most distinguished Senator Matthew Rogide. Mr. President, Section 80 of 1999 Constitution as amended has established, especially in subsection 2, that one, I read, no money shall be withdrawn from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation, except to meet the expenditure that is charged upon the fund by this Constitution, or where such issue, or where the issue of those monies has been authorized by an Appropriation Act, Supplementary Appropriation Act, or an act passed in pursuance of Section 81 of this section. And he said, 3, no money shall be withdrawn from the public fund of the Federation other than the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation, unless the issue of those monies has been authorized by an act of the National Assembly. What has been read has not been authorized by the National Assembly and is a completed act. Subsection 4, no money shall be withdrawn from the Consolidated Revenue Fund or any other public fund of the Federation, except in the manner prescribed by the National Assembly. We have not prescribed anything, and this thing is done extra budgetary. So we are not prescribed. And you go to, I'll take the privilege to go to Section 81, and I read subsection 81.2. The heads of expenditure contained in the estimate, other the expenditure charged upon the Consolidated Fund of the Revenue of the Federation by this Constitution, shall be included in a bill to be known as an appropriation bill, providing for the issue from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the sums necessary to meet the expenditure and appropriation of those sums for the expenditure for the purposes specified therein. And it goes also to say in 81.4, if in respect of any financial year it is found that A, the amount appropriated by the Appropriation Act for any purpose is insufficient, or B, a need has arisen for the expenditure for a purpose for which no amount has been appropriated by the Act, a supplementary estimate showing the sums required shall be laid before each house of the National Assembly, and heads of such expenditure shall be included in a supplementary appropriation bill. Mr. President, I take time to read all this for everybody because my colleague that just moved the motion didn't read this thing, and I have to read it for people to feel and understand what we are saying here. You see, we are still doing an appropriation bill. We are not finished with the appropriation bill. And I don't call this, I don't know whether, looking at the Constitution, whether this one falls under Section 81.4, where you are bringing supplementary. There is no supplementary, and somebody, the chief executive of this country, has decided to act outside the Constitution. This is not the first time this thing has happened, Mr. President. This thing has started a long time ago. When the service chiefs were brought here, they were appointed and given offices, and they will assume their offices. When the FIRS chairman was appointed, he was appointed and assumed office without recourse to this National Assembly. And several other such constitutional breaches that are here before, that are flying in the face of this National Assembly. And this one again, our president, and even the funny aspect of this thing is that it's going to be, this Tucano that is going to be supply helicopter is in 2020. Not just this year, not 2018, not 2019, 2020. And this is what we are doing here. And we are talking about that. 1 billion was appropriated for Northeast without anybody discussing anything about it here. Mr. President, a time has arisen when this Senate have to rise up and do the job which the Constitution stipulated that we have to do. If we have a chief executive who doesn't want to behave according to the Constitution, we follow the Constitution also to handle such a chief executive. And there's no way to, there's no other name to call this, except that this is an impeachment offense. It's an impeachable offense, and we cannot allow that. We cannot stay here and Nigerians will be, the assembly will be taken for granted. Nigerians will be taken for granted. It should not be so, Mr. President. If you say that you are a man here, you can stand up to be counted. If you say that you are here on behalf of your people, this is time to stand up and get counted. This is, we're talking about Nigeria. We're not talking about anybody. We're discussing about our country. This is our country. And things should be done the way it should be done. Not the way things are done. So I rise and support this motion, second this motion, as moved by the chairman of the appropriation, the Senate Committee on Public Accounts Committee. Thank you so much.
Senator Shehu Sani.